It's 2025 and high interest rates are stalling the real estate market. Or are they? We're going to dig into that today. We're going to talk about some of the main reasons why homes may not be selling in the current real estate market. Before we get started, my name is Brandon Snyder. I am a team leader here in the greater Houston area along with my wife, Mary. We run a team and we see all kinds of scenarios from helping people achieve homeownership to making their next move. And today we're going to be talking about the top 5 reasons why your home may not be selling in this current real estate market. A lot of homeowners will ask me, why isn't my house selling? Or is there something wrong with my house? John's house sold down the street. Why is mine not doing the same? The truth is, there's a lot of different things that can factor into why a home is not selling, and we're going to cover those today. Before we get started, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. It lets us know that you want to know more about what we're talking about. We have years of experience in the greater Houston real estate market and would love to help you and your family. Now, we're going to talk about the first reason. It's 100% pricing. Now, this is normally one of the main reasons why houses sit on the market longer than they should have. I've seen countless times where sellers go, my house did not sell on the market because of insert X scenario here. But what we come to find out digging deeper is that a lot of the times it has to do with price. Now, Economics 101 tells us that supply and demand is a huge thing and drives most of the world's economy. In 2020, all the way up to 2023, we had not enough supply and a ton of demand because interest rates were so low. Now, in 2025, ever since the rate shifted in 2023, there becomes more and more supply with less demand because affordability went down. So that means there's a bottleneck at price. Now, we've talked to sellers before that said, hey, I really need to sell and I have to sell at this price, or I can't, I'll have to write a check at closing or something to that extent. There are very few scenarios where we have to stay super firm on price and keep it where it is. For the most part, when we talk to those sellers, we're actually talking to them about listing at a lower price because this is going to be the best thing to get their house sold in the least amount of time for the most amount of money possible. Now, I completely understand people who say, hey, you know what? We've tried it at a lower price and it just didn't work. So we wanted to list it at a higher price. The reality is that homes that sit at a higher price will sit longer and your offers that come in will come in even lower, or you may not even get any offers to begin with. Now, this is not something that we are taking lightly. We factor this in when we're sitting down with our sellers at the kitchen table and talking about the pricing and everything that needs to happen for that house to sell. It's not always price, but I can tell you, if you want to sell your house fast, you need to factor in the most marketable price for the buyers in your market. Now, inventory is continuing to rise. So you have to keep in mind all the other homes around you that are going to be priced at what they think is market. So we actually work with 3 strategies. I always ask my sellers, do you want to sell it now? That's normally somewhere in between, an 85 to 90% of market value. And that's never the case. We don't ever want to sell it then unless we have to. There's an immediate need. Something has happened. Life has changed. We have to sell it now. Then there's market price. Market price is what the comparables say that the house should be sold for. That's normally what most people will list the home at. But that may not always be the case. And realistically, we always recommend listing right below that number because that is going to give you the best opportunity to sell it fast and for the most amount possible, and potentially, which we are still seeing in this market, get multiple offers. The third thing, we call this our pie in the sky number. This is the number that most people will say, hey, I would love to sell at this number. Well, that's not the number that I can give. That's not a number that the market can give. Because if we look at the numbers correctly in the data, no homes have sold for that. We try not to list at that. And if we do, there's an explicit understanding that we're going to reduce fairly fast if the market tells us we're wrong. So I think it's really important here to understand that price is one of the main factors that is going to stop you from selling your home on the open market. Reason number 2 is presentation. I think about when I go and buy a car and I'm on the showroom floor and they're showing off the most expensive model, all the bells and whistles, everything. They want you to see that. They want you to purchase that. When you walk into a model home, they show you all the upgrades, all of the paint schemes that aren't builder grade. They show you everything that's included, but it's really not. And you have to pay all these upgrades and premiums. In reality, They're showing you a presentation to get you to want to buy that house. Now, when we're talking about buying a home, a buyer's going to come in within 10 seconds and decide if they want to buy your home or not. So presentation always matters, whether that's the shrubs in front of your house, the color of your grass, if there's leaves on the trees, going inside if the lights are bright or if they're a yellow, if the walls are painted a weird color. Presentation matters across the board when it comes to people viewing your home. And if you want to get top dollar, you cannot skimp out on presentation. Just putting a sign in front of your house that says welcome isn't necessarily a presentation, but resurfacing a door or going in and polishing the floors. These are things that help with presentation. A warm, great aroma as soon as you get in. Those are things in presentation that will help someone decide if they want to buy your house or not. Now, it doesn't have to be Instagram worthy, but the data tells us that most homes sell online before they even get a showing. Pictures, furniture, is it staged well? What does it look like when you see online? Those are the people that are going to be scheduling a showing. Over 70% of buyers are looking online before they even schedule a showing. Long gone are the days where people just drive past a house and go, "Oh, it's for sale. I want to go tour it." They'll go online immediately to Zillow, Realtor, Redfin, or your local MLS, and they will then look at the pictures and decide if they want to continue seeing the tour or not. That is so important. We have to make sure that we're giving you the best chance on the market to get your home sold as fast as possible. Presenting your home in the best possible light is the best part because people get to see your hard work in the home and how well you've taken care of the home. Things like staging, lighting, aroma. Is it decluttered? Is it cleaned? Is it deep cleaned? These are things that people are going to pay attention to and help you net the most amount of money. Reason number 3 is my favorite. I love marketing. It's not a seller's job to market the home. It's our job. Long gone are the days, maybe if you sold a home in the past 5 years, where you just stick a sign in the yard and 20 people show up at your open house and it sells. It's not the case anymore. And it really should have never been the case, but this was what real estate kind of divulged into for a few years, where we would just see multiple offers on a house and people just put their house up for sale and they got whatever they wanted for it. And appraisals were waived and all this craziness and no option periods and no due diligence. It's not like that anymore. It really comes down to marketing. Our team has a specific process that we go through when it comes to marketing your home. We're not just sticking a sign in the yard and saying, "Hey, we're doing an open house." We're calling your neighbors. We're calling the people around you, trying to get them to come to the open house and bring people that may want to be neighbors into the neighborhood. We are doing these things. This is something that the real estate world got away from in the previous years, and this is something that we do on a regular basis for our clients, for our open houses, to prospect and get people to want to see. Now, that's just on top of the digital marketing that we do. In terms of videos, you see videos like this, you can actually see a video like ours where you'll see a full walkthrough of what we do for our clients when we're marketing their home. Marketing you cannot skimp out on. You can't just pay $100, stick a sign in the yard, do some cell phone photos. It doesn't work like that. And you should be hiring a professional who does that. So if your house isn't selling and there's cell phone photos, that's probably a big part of it. Now, number 4 is condition. I get this question a lot. Do I need to fix this before putting my house on the market? The answer has always been, regardless of the market conditions, yes. You should always strive to fix things before putting your house on the market or even during that process, especially if you notice something. Now, what we've seen recently is a lot of sellers going in and putting in the work ahead of time to get their house ready to go on the market. It's not about having a brand new house, it's having a house that a buyer can see themselves living in for a long time without fear of something breaking down. Some things that you probably want to check regularly are HVAC, roof, any structural systems, any plumbing, electrical. These are all things that are going to be make or break for a buyer wanting to buy your house or not. So it's just something to keep in mind that you should always want to keep these things up. Now, when it comes to listing your house and maybe why it's not selling, is your faucet leaking? Do you have electrical issues? Do you need a new roof? These are all things that someone may be looking at, even like a water heater. Someone's going to see that and say, "Oh, that's a cost I have to incur." And with everyone pinching more pennies now more than ever because of interest rates being so high, you have to take these into effect as to why your house may not be selling. Number 5 is accessibility. And this is actually one that irks me pretty crazily, because when you put your house on the market, you should allow people to see it because it's going on the market with the intent to sell the home. If you are not going to sell the home, or if you're not going to show it rather, it may not sell. If all you're doing is allowing people to come see it at 2 hours on the weekend, your house probably isn't going to sell because people have schedules, people have work, people have extracurriculars with their families and kids and things like that. You need to be flexible with allowing people to see your home. This is just something that irks me to no extreme. I see it across the board, and it's definitely something that you should be paying attention to. All right, we're going to recap here. Your top 5 reasons why your house is not selling may include one of the things we just talked about. But the good news is that it's fixable. These are all things that you can hire a professional to sit down with you and talk about and go through and figure out if it's the right thing that needs to be done to get your house to sell. Time and time again, we see so many sellers that are just one or two small changes away from getting their house on the market and getting it sold in the most amount, the least amount of time possible for the most amount of money. Now, I will tell you, not all things are fixable. Sometimes you're in a school district that people don't want to move into. We've seen that before. Sometimes it's a matter of price. Sometimes you can't reduce the price because you have to get it sold. We've seen all these things. But hiring someone who's going to sit down and talk with you through these options is of utmost importance to get your home sold in today's market. Now, rates are coming down as this video is being filmed, which is great, but that does not mean that we can just neglect the things that need to be done to get the house sold. If it's not priced right, the people who can now afford it aren't going to be looking at it because it's not even going to be in their search portals. If the house isn't in good condition, they're going to walk it and say, you know what, I want to write a lower offer, or I don't even want to write an offer, all because of these things going on. So keep these things in mind. And again, if you are looking for someone who is going to be honest with you, shoot you straight, take you through the market conditions, and give you the exact steps you need to sell your house for the most amount of money possible in this market, give us a call, reach out to us below. We talk to sellers all the time in different scenarios, and we would love to talk to you and your family.